Hey everyone, it's Devin with the Sunday Rewind. It's been a little while since we've had another one of these, but this past week we really felt like it was worth popping back in. And I've heard from a couple people that they've actually been checking them out. My kid's in the background, so if you hear a little guy speaking or yelling, that's what's going on there. We're not going to take up too much of your time. But this last week we focused on the end of chapter 3 of James. Specifically, we talked about what does it mean about how we go about things. James is focused on putting faith into action. And we've talked about how actions aren't just enough, but that those actions have to be done the right way. And the end of chapter 3 really talks about intention and what kind of rules us in the world. It speaks of the natural kind of rule and the natural order and the powers of this world. What it's really talking about is that we have a choice between choosing God's way or the world's way, one or the other. We don't really get an in between, and that there is selfishness and personal drive, and while those things might seem innocuous, and in some cases it's not wrong to be driven. It absolutely isn't. It's when we are doing things for selfish gain and selfish ambition. And when we're thinking about ourselves, and God's way is constantly thinking about the other. And we see it throughout all of Scripture, and we see it specifically in the person of Jesus. That God's will is to unite, is to sacrifice, and is to serve. And so take some time this week, go through the end of the chapter 3 of James. And our challenge this last week was to look at verse 17 and think about the attributes that are there and which are those attributes that you need to work on in your own life, and try to enact at least one of those attributes this week, and be very specific and intentional about trying to have that be a part of your life. Have a great week.